Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be cutting a cargo pant. This fabric that I'm actually using is a stretchy crepe, maroon stretchy crepe, and this is what I'm going to be using. To get the fold for your front pant, make sure to do your hips divided by 4 plus 2 inches. That will be the actual fold of the fabric for the front. Once I was done folding the fabric, I had to use my tape to cross check if the width is okay. So I checked that the part for the upper part is okay, so I had to check for the midpoint as well as the hemline also. If this is your first time on the channel, guys, welcome on board. It's nice to have you here. I hope you're going to stick to this channel for a very long time, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always representing. I love you so much. So now what you're going to be doing is to mark our starting point line. On the upper part of the fabric, I went down by 1/2 inch and then I extended the line horizontally like this. Once I was done with that, the next thing I'm going to be doing right now is to mark my vertical crotch measurement, and the vertical crotch measurement is 11 inches, so I marked that point. I made sure I did that by extending the line horizontally, just as you see me doing it right now. Once I was done with that, the next thing I'm going to be marking is my knee length. The length of my knee is 20 inches, so I marked that point right there. After marking, I extended the line horizontally as well. So once you're done with that, you mark the length of your trouser. Mine was about 44, so I added 2 inches, making it 46. Once I was done with that, I extended the line also like this. That 2 inches will be for the fold, the lower hemline fold. So after that, on the crotch line, we're going to be marking our round crotch measurement, but before that, mark 1 inch on the left hand side. Then vertically, make sure to mark your hip length. Mine is actually 9 inches, so I imputed that line right there. After I was done with that, from that line that I marked earlier, I marked my waist measurement on the hip measurement as well as on the crotch line, and then I extended the line with a straight line down to the waistline. That's the starting point. So the red part of the fabric will be our crotch measurements, and the measurement is about 2.5. That will be our crotch curve, that 2.5 that you're seeing after the straight line we extended to the waistline. So what I'm going to be doing right now is to calculate the 2.5 divided by 4. What I have there, I'm going to go in and impute it. I had about 1 point something, so I use my tape to place it diagonally. Then I'm going to mark it with a curve. So now I'm going to connect the curve together, just as you see me doing right now. Once I was done with that, you can see how the curve is looking. So now the next thing we're going to be doing is that from that our 1 inch that we went in on the part of the crotch line, that's the crotch width, we're going to connect it straight up to the waist. So I'm marking the waist point. To get your waist, start from that straight line. Your waist divided by 4, you mark it on the waist. So I'm going to connect it with my ruler upwards, just as you see. After connecting it, this is how it is looking like. So now from that waist point, I'm going to take my chalk to draw it down with a straight line. This is actually a cargo pant, so it doesn't need to be tight. So now I'm going to connect it straight with my ruler. So on the part of the crotch curve, I will still go down straight from that point. You know, this is not a fitted pant, so we don't need to give it that sharp fitted look. So we're going to go straight downwards. Connect it down to the hemline. Make sure you do that on the left as well as on the right hand side. After I was done with that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to cut out the front. So after cutting it, this is how it's looking like. Now to get our back trouser, we're going to be placing, we'll fold our fabric into 2. Make sure to fold it in such a way that you'll be able to add in up to 1 to 2 inches allowance. So after I placed that, on the front part, I went in on the waistline by 1 inch. After going in by 1 inch, just as you see me doing, then I went upward by 1.5 inch, and then I marked that point right there. So after doing that, on the place for the back, right on the part of the crotch for the back, so we're going to be marking 1.5. We're going to be extending the crotch point by 1.5. Then on the back part for the hip and the crotch line, we're going to be adding 1.5 inches on the crotch as well as on the hip line. So now on the waist point, we'll be adding 1 inch on the back part, so we'll connect the lines together. Then from that 1.5 inch point we went up, we'll connect it towards that 1 inch. Once we are done with that, on the knee point we're going to be adding 1 inch, and then we'll blend it in down to the crotch line, just like this. And then on the lower hemline we'll mark 1/2 inch. On the knee line, we'll connect the lines together from the hemline to the hip down to the crotch part. So after connecting the line with a straight, after connecting it with a straight line like this, on the crotch curve aspect, we're going to mark it 1.5, and then we'll blend in that 1.5 straight down to the knee point diagonally like this. We'll connect it this way. The only allowance you're adding for the front part of the back is just 1.5, and that will be on the crotch curve part. So now the parts that we mark on the back, we're going to blend it into the back. We're going to blend it into the back crotch curve, just as you can see right now, guys. So I removed the front part so you can see how the back is looking like. You can see that the back is deeper than the front curve. So after blending it in, now it's time for us to cut it out. Remember, on the waist part we added, on the back we added 1 inch, on the part for the hip we added 1.5, on the knee part we added 1 inch, and then on the hemline we added half of an inch. So now we're cutting out the back like this. If you don't really understand what I'm saying right here, make sure to pause, play and replay until you get the point I'm trying to pass across, guys. If you know you've not subscribed to the channel, guys, please do well to hit on that red subscribe button. Make sure to turn on the post notification bell, comment in the comment section below, and also do well to follow us on our social media platform like Instagram at Selling Jerry's and also on Facebook at Selling Jerry's. So now we're going to be cutting out the back fabric like this. Make sure you look at this part carefully so you know where and where to cut. Be very careful so you don't cut where you're not supposed to cut, because if you do that you might get shortage of fabric. Guys, please don't mind me, I was a little bit distracted as someone was actually talking to me. I didn't really know that it showed this much until I was done doing the voiceover. So after cutting, this is how the front and the back pattern is looking like. Now the next thing we're going to be doing will be to cut our front patch pocket. So I placed a piece of the fabric on the part of the front. So I'm going to be tracing it out. I'm going to be cutting out the parts that I don't need. I want to get the parts for that curve on the back part just like this. So I'm going to use my scissors to trim out that part after getting the shape that I want. Once you're done with that, you can just mark your measurements. If you want your pockets, your patch pocket to be very big, you can use a very big piece of fabric to get the actual size that you want. Once I was done trimming the part that I don't actually need, so now I'm going to be marking the vertical and the horizontal measurement. But before then, I'm going to be trimming out the upper part of the fabric to align with the waistline of the front fabric. So I marked 2 inches horizontally, and then vertically I marked about 6 inches. So I'm going to connect the two lines together. So now for the part of the pocket, after connecting the vertical and the horizontal line, make a slight curve in between the two. Make sure to fold it in like this. So now you'll be left with just the zip facing outward like this. So now that you've placed the other part of the front fabric like this, right sides facing each other, you're going to be picking up the second flap and you slide it underneath the first fabric that was under. So now the flap will be in between the zipper and the second part of the fabric for the front. So now I'll be stitching the zipper, the flap, as well as the second part of the fabric all at a stretch. Please be careful so you don't stitch the other part that you've already stitched for the front fabric. That's for the first one you fix the zipper. Be careful. So you're going to be stitching 1/2 inch the zipper and the second flap together. So once I was done with that, this is how it's looking like. You can see the 1/2 inch we left earlier is still showing there. And then you can also see that after that 8 inches point, we still have an open crotch. We're going to be stitching that once you're done with that. So now that 1/2 inch we left, we're going to be folding it in to cover the crotch. So once you fold it in like this, then make sure you take it to your machine and sew that 1/2 inches that we left earlier. Make sure you stitch it straight down, and then when you get to that point where there's a curve for the flap, you curve your hand a bit to get that curve. So this is going to serve as the design. You can see how I'm describing it. Make a curve once you get to the point of the curve of the. Once you get to the point of the curve, make sure to curve your hands on your machine. So once I was done with that, this is how it's looking like. I've already ironed my back pockets. I've done the fabric inside out. You can see how it's looking like. So I'm going to stitch these pockets on the back fabric as well. So I stitched the rest part of the front curve. This is how it's looking like. So I'm also going to be stitching the back curve also. I fixed the pockets, joined the crotch. So now we're going to be facing the back and the front, right sides facing each other. Once we've done that, so we're going to be stitching the sides with 1/2 inch or 1 inch, depending on how many allowance you left on the sides. Once I was done with that, stitching the side, I had to fix the pockets on the side. Mind you, we've not sewn the inseam, so we only stitch the sides of the cargo pants. So now the inseams are still open, so we'll fix the pocket for the two sides. After I was done with that, I stitched the inseam, folded the hem, and this is the final result of the cargo pants. I couldn't show every process as the video was becoming too long. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not subscribed already. Also, rate this fabric on a scale of 1 to 10. Until I come your way next time. Bye, guys.